joining us shortly. But I have with me William Asiedu. Good morning, William.
Good morning.
Good to see you. How are you doing?
Perfect by grace.
Nice, nice, nice. I do very well. Thank you. Very well. Thank you. I tell you.
I was a man, Baba, made a
This morning, by way of motivation, I tell you that all your dreams can come true if you have the courage to pursue them. Now, the secret of getting ahead is getting started. I tell you again that don't limit yourself. Many people limit themselves to what they think they can do. And I tell you that you can go as far as your mind lets you. What you believe, remember, you can achieve. William, what targets did you set for yourself this day?
Today?
Yes.
Yeah. Get here on time. Say my prayer. Sometimes I forget. I do data in the day. Pressure. So I've achieved the first two. By God's grace, I'm here on time. Say my prayer. And I hope to have a great day. Have a few things on my desk to shift. And I have a lot of editing to do. Once we have life, it will happen.
Right.
By the grace of God.
Right, William.
FM Sunrise. Start your day with Sunrise on 92.7 3FM.
Anybody, it's so sure, and your boy, no. See, so when the hustle know they make chance pass me by. So make it do your best and use your sense. Show me stress.
3FM Sunrise.
No test, and Jack guide so no one can test. So make it tell them. So we do come, no the fear. Baba got it from my side, so no shake it.
Yeah, when you're media, on Chonko now on book, on enemy CCT.
Well, we're here again to talk about the country Ghana, our motherland.
Walk through the valley of death.
This morning, we're hearing about another ambulance saga. We'll bring you the inside story.
Yeah, when you're media, on Chonko.
You'll also be hearing from us on the trapped illegal miners, and are they hiding from the police? There's a story going around about illegal miners who are also trapped. So stay with us here on Sunrise to bring you all the details. And then we'll follow up on the Bole boat accident. 50 persons are still missing. And remember, this is not the first boat accident we're having in the country. And it's like we're not learning. This again was overloaded. That's what we understand happened. And then there's also some politics. The MPP primaries, it is preparing to break the 8. We'll see how that goes. But first, let's get into the papers with William Asiedu. William, what do you have in front of you?
Good morning. Good morning once again. Crosby, this morning I have with me the Finder and its tagline, credibility. Your men have been effective, Dagbon Overlord tells IGP. And then we have on the front page again, after terminating PDS concession contract in 2019, IMF deal sets ECG up for another concession. Lawsuits hits petroleum hub projects. I'm best positioned to lead MPP to break the 8. That's according to Dr. Akoto Efriye. Shareholders commend Access Bank's performance at 15th AGM. Daily Guide this morning, JUSAC calls off strike. Good news there. Going to IMF painful, Akufo-Addo says, and minority no vote on Tokonu immaterial. Joe Wise says so. Ghana ambulance in Dubai claims false. That's according to the National Ambulance Service. And Bola Tinubu sworn in as Nigerian president.
Yeah, some news from Nigeria. Let me bring you what the Daybreak newspaper is saying. On the front page of the paper, it says, "Produce my son dead or alive. Missing cop tells police." Also, Baumia picks forms today. We'll be at the NPP headquarters for update on what is going on concerning the flag bearer hopefuls of the party. We know that so far some 5 persons have picked nomination forms. The latest to do that was yesterday, and that was the former Greek minister, Dr. Afriye Akoto. Also on the front page of the Daybreak newspaper, I'll defend Nigeria from terror and extreme poverty. Tinubu is pictured here to be saying. And coming up later is Minister sponsors candidate against the NPP in the Ashanti region. We'll delve into that story pretty shortly. On the front page of the BNF team, city faces pressure amid U.S. debt ceiling negotiations and concerns heightening over declining oil production. There's also GAB urges comprehensive plan to address loopholes in credit culture. And Ghana's last 5 years crude oil production. There's a graph that is depicting the decline in the process. BOG Virtual InfoSec Partner on Finance Industry Cybersecurity Center. Also time to deepen interest in local poultry industry. The story is on page 2 of the BNFT. John Hughes, good morning. Good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm greater than Accra.
Where'd you get this motivation to say you are greater than Accra?
Well,
how can you be greater than Accra?
If you can think it and the heart can believe it, you can achieve it.
Tell us.
Finish. Finito. So that's where I get it from.
Nice. How was your night?
Well, not so smooth, quite busy, but hey, here we are.
For God and country.
Yeah.
Tell us what you have in front of you.
Well, the Daily Graphic, Ghana's oldest newspaper, truth, accuracy every day. Was upon a time the People's Daily Graphic. Persists in partisan elections of MMDC's Dr. Mensah to the government. You know, that was a promise by the president, you know, to all of us that it will be done in 2 years. Ghana ranked 7th in UN peacekeeping operations. By-election beckons NPP NDC invade Asin North. Comes with a photograph of Fifi Kwete and Justin Frimpong Kudia. Let the flow be free. Association advocates to end period poverty. Cover price goes up for Daily Graphics up to 5 CDs now. Registrar of Companies invites all registered professional bodies to a meeting on the 7th of June 2023 and register your SIMs now. You have today and tomorrow to complete your SIM card registration. Deadline is the 31st of March and May 2023. To register to stay connected. I know people who have registered who are still crying that they have been barred from making calls. Whole hospital admits patients at ambulance bay due to lack of space, and CRS donates Shekinah Clinic in Tamalin. What's interesting about the whole hospital is that they have a new facility. And it's been unlocked.
That is yet to be opened.
No be juju be that. No be juju be that.
Well, the ABC newspaper, it says on the side of truth, on the front page has a picture of the Vice President, Dr. Bawumia. And it says, strong signal, Bawumia picks form today. It is talking about Dr. Bawumia picking his nomination forms to lead the NPP going into the 2024 elections in the attempt to find a successor to President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. There's also Chairman Wontumi pictured here, and he says Swami interchange critical to MPP's 2024 votes in the Ashanti region. The story is on page 5. There's an editorial in the ABC newspaper. It says BOG has not pulled out of gold for oil program. The story is on page 4. Now, you know what the IMF is saying concerning the gold for oil deal and the need to review the Bank of Ghana's position on the deal, just like a lot of, local economists, I should say, pictured or mentioned before the deal was even implemented in the first place. There's also ABC newspaper saying that Central Region Akufo-Addo commissions Elmina Fishing Harbour. The story is on page 6 of the newspaper. William, any more papers?
No. Done.
Nice. Maybe we should get into some of the details of the papers.
Yes,
Let's find out what they say. Let's start with you, Johnnie.
Asin North is coming up again, and all eyes will be on the Electoral Commission. I have said over and over again that the Electoral Commission needs to work on its image, because if you have already a frosty relationship with the NDC and the other opposition parties, and it does appear that anytime there's a government in power, they are the ones who are happy with you, then clearly there's a problem somewhere. And these problems have been entrenched to the point where You have recently what happened in Kumeu, where somebody was forced to vote for another person, against their wish, an old woman. You also saw how, an electoral officer forced, delegate, what do you call it, polling agents,
executives,
right, to sign the pink sheet before the polls ended. We saw what happened in Get to North, where the 2 ballot sheets were not signed, were not stamped. We've seen in 2020 elections where Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo's photo was cut off, deliberately, about 20 or so sheets, before the sheets were handed out, so that by the time, the person goes to vote, Nana Addo is not even an option on the sheet and all of that. And I don't think that the Electoral Commission has taken these things seriously. These by-elections have a make or break effect for us, because Asin North won by the NDC in the last elections. We all know what Jachi Kwesing and his situation has been in terms of dual citizenship. The Supreme Court says, well, strike him out. His party is insisting that he submitted his documents way ahead of that, and that he is not guilty of what is being charged on. Criminal prosecution is going to happen. Is he going to be fielded again? I don't know. But if he is fielded again, he may get sympathy votes and all of that, which may get him to win. But the final arbiter is the Electoral Commission. And it doesn't appear to me that the Electoral Commission is taking its image serious. In the 2020 election, for example, the Electoral Commission announced, withdrew 6 times, or maybe 7, the results of the 2020 elections. The Electoral Commission didn't give us a representative in Santro Kofi Akpafo Lolobi. So consistently, the Electoral Commission has, and if you look at even the membership of the Electoral Commission now,
so it brings me to my question. What I want to ask is the lack of confidence. Is it as a matter of the personalities involved or put at the Electoral Commission, or some institutional mechanisms or policies that the commission itself should run with that is not being implemented, or we're looking at a mixture of the two?
Well, Dr. is that Apiahene, and the other lady who are well-known MPP people who are there. They were not there at the last election. There was Silviano, and our ambassador is this to South Africa also. Denmark, yes, who was the woman in charge, and right after the elections, she got appointment and she flew out of the country, even before we could finish talking about the anomalies that were recorded in the election. So she was nowhere. They were nowhere close to the point. I'm saying that consistently, the Electoral Commission has not given us the confidence to say, look, what the NDC is saying is wrong. You're doing your work. They're just trying to victimize you and trying to, put a spanner in the works for you and all of that. But your own actions, not the personalities. As for the personalities, Chin Mensah has worked at what do you call it? IEA, and has made fantastic contribution to the growth of our democracy. Dr. Asare Bosman had Legon political science. I mean, look at the fine personality. Mr. Tete himself was director of electoral services before.
So they have the people who are capable of doing the job
to do the work. So how is it that it is the men are not many? How?
Well,
William, you have an answer to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of the selection, or if like nomination and appointment of the individuals onto the commission, the government of the day has not done the commission any good, because, for instance, after the last election, the PRO just got a government appointment, and this is supposed to be somebody who was working with a very an institution that was supposed to be very neutral. So immediately afterwards, you get an appointment. I'm not saying that she's not capable of serving, but we all know what some of these things do in terms of perception. And for politicians and for politics, perception would always shape the interaction that you have with society. So whether the government likes it or not, perception is key. And that's one issue that I also want to pick with the president. There are instances that the society, members of the society have raised issues, and the president will ask for scientific proof. But in politics, it's not always what is on the table that should be considered.
Right.
The perception is also key. So if we've dealt with Silviano, who's been given an appointment, and then comes the two individuals who've been appointed to the commission, there were even question marks about Bosman Asari because of his alleged links.
Alleged.
I mean, as a journalist, that's what I would say.
No,
I don't
there
have
are,
the-
there are
I don't have
pictures.
the facts.
If there are pictures and
Yeah, that's what I'm
videos,
saying. I
that
haven't seen
he's
those
a
pictures.
Tescon patron.
Yes,
Boss
so
Manasari.
I mean,
We knew him in
this is-
Legon.
Yes, I didn't know him. So
Ah, okay.
I'm speaking
It's okay.
for.
So
So sometimes
alleged.
if you pick, they'll pick me. You know. So I'm using my journalistic.
We knew him in Legon.
So the Boss Manasaris, the Apiahines, and the Adias who are all connected.
Apia Hinitu is alleged.
No,
okay.
his I've seen videos.
Yeah, I'll show you Bossman's videos too
Yes.
and pictures too.
So that all these things should be considered when we are, putting people on such a very sensitive commission. And for me, that's one headache that the commission would bear for a long time. And secondly, to the SAL issue, the Santo Kofi Ilolobi Akpafu issue. I mean, some have suggested that is the cardinal sin of the Fourth Republic. They've been the basic thing that a parliament can offer anybody who is a citizen of a country is representation. Even before the MP makes laws, the representation is key. I mean, it's almost natural. So if they've been denied all these years, what will be the reason and why are we not talking about it? So these are some of the things that the EC should be looking at in terms of purging itself of some of the darkness around its image, But apart from that, I mean, election anywhere cannot be sacrosanct. It can't be 100% clean. It can't be 100% tight. You go to India, they have the biggest democracy. They have issues. You come to America, they have issues. Where remember the Al Gore Bush Jr. issue. Remember the Trump issue where alleged vote stuffing and all those. So as for elections, once it's going to be a winner-take-all situation, you would have issues coming up. But the image and perception for me are key.
But if we're talking about their image and their perception, and we agree that these individuals put there, they are capable of doing the job, then wouldn't it beckon on those individuals to, show some levels of integrity? You may have your beliefs, your opinions and all of that, but when you're put at that institution to do what is expected of you, can't you put that aside and do what you're expected to?
You see, it becomes a difficult thing for you. You can't change the spots on a leopard because it rained. A leopard will maintain its spot because it's not paint. And those who are partisan people through and through will always stick with the party first. And we've seen people defend all kinds of unthinkable stuff. Children have not been fed school feeding program. The what do you call it? Caterers are on strike. Ashanti Regional Minister says he has no regrets in the way he spoke with the caterers, and they are still on strike up until now, 6 weeks and more. He doesn't have any regret because he's thinking of party first. He's not thinking about the nation, even though he is, supposed to be a nationalistic individual. So when you put people there at the Electoral Commission, and already there in the minds of the people, Boss Masari was there in the last election in 2020, right? And whatever it is that happened. Right after the elections, when the last result, the 6th or 7th result was declared, Silviano out of the country, straight into Denmark. All right, who did she hand over to? Do you know the current PR of the Electoral Commission? We don't know. Do you get the point?
The commission speaks for itself.
Well, we need to find we need to find, but we don't know because we all knew Silviano, and Silviano would call us into a meeting and have conversations with us. Sana, she was working towards a certain interest. Well, so yes, so you get into and say you have to be circumspect. Sana, she was working towards a certain interest.
Yeah.
Now right when the last results was declared and Mr. Akufo-Addo was deemed re-elected according to the decision of the Electoral Commission, she was gone. Then now you move into another election cycle, and you add on to Bosman Asari and what do you call it? 2 more people. You cannot tell me that they will put their professionalism. We've known Silviano to be in the communication space. Silviano and I are IPR people. We are members of the IPR. Silviano has been a journalist. She's been a PR person. So, on that particular occasion, would you say that the professionalism came first, or the interest came second?
There's also the bit about the appointment authority. They are also not seeming to help the commission. They are contributing to the wrong perception.
That is the key point, because who are you appointing? And you see, Dr. Peter Boamotokuno made a point here when we had a one-on-one conversation. He said, look, if you are appointing people at the bottom and you are putting party people there, it won't be a problem because nobody will drill down, go to Asim Fusu constituency and go and look for some one police station and make a case out of it. But these are the national executive. Dr. Kweku had come back to say that, it doesn't change anything because the results are not changed at the top. But, so in the last election, the 6 results that were changed, was it changed by the people in the constituency or was it changed at the headquarters of the Electoral Commission?
I mean, they are the final decision
and
makers.
then at the end of the day, the tabulation even went past 100%. What are you talking to me about?
Let me play the devil's. The 6 results that were corrected.
You don't look like they were corrected, and then they went past 100%.
Crosby, this morning my heart is heavy because of these boat accidents, and I've always sat on this show and I've mentioned the Ghana Maritime Authority. I mean, if you go on their website, they have put there. I mean, it's not something that somebody went to write. They say that look, they are responsible for surveying, monitoring, educating, enforcing, and regulating, and even in charge of safeguarding standards on our water bodies, local, I mean the inland water bodies as well as our ocean. So these things have happened back to back. And the last time the minister held a press conference, he mentioned the Ghana Maritime Authority. But nobody is holding anybody out there responsible. Because if we are saying that the boat was overloaded, that for me is a crime. It's pure and simple, because that is criminal negligence to some extent. Because if these regulators were there, as they are saying on their website, if there was somebody on the ground to check that boats carry the stipulated number of passengers, I don't think we'll be having these disasters every day, to the point that they are talking about 50 individuals
we still are not able to find their whereabouts.
I mean, that is something that should be a national disaster if it were any other country. But in the last couple of months, we've had these boat disasters on the same water leak around Wija and then back to the same area, and it's as if nobody's talking about it. It's as if it's normal.
They're just statistics.
No, but I mean,
but it's not supposed to be so.
No, but it's not supposed to be so. There's a whole authority. There's a whole authority in charge.
William, you see what you have there by the Maritime Authority. Yes. They are even supposed to be at the bank of the river.
That's what they are saying.
Checking who is embarking on which journey and life jackets.
You don't say. I don't say. They are saying.
So why are they not doing it?
Yeah. So and they are supposed to be coordinating with the Navy and all the other assemblies and community to ensure the safety of passengers and the boat riders. And this is where we are this morning, talking about the same thing. So it's so easy when it comes to the life of the Ghanaian. If you are not in the political circle, religious circle, business circle, and you're in the ordinary circle like you and I, nothing happens. You just die like that.
I mean, 72 hours. We're still looking for 50 persons.
And the minister hasn't said anything.
It's obvious that
nobody
has
transport.
In other countries, the minister would have resigned by now.
No, please. Perish that thought.
No.
Perish that thought. It will not happen.
Yes, 50 people missing, one dead already. It is not the first time in the year. We've heard about back to back.
Perish
even
that
before Christmas, there was one. Well, So
yes, but perish that thought. It will not happen. Resignation in this country. Even when people's heads have been put on the chopping board, they always have, a certain is it remover or redeemer?
some defense mechanism.
Yeah, somebody comes to pull them out, and
Johnnie,
it's sad.
They are saying,
people put their presidency on the line to fight
on their website.
He said, "I am prepared to." He didn't put his presidency on.
They are acknowledging on their website. Over the years, however, accidents on the lake have become rampant. This is their English. This is their language. The authority regulates the activities on the water lake by setting up various offices. Setting up various offices across key landing sites. So, Johnnie, your question is answered.
Maybe the places where the accidents
to
are
aid
happening,
in monitoring, surveying.
But if you are setting up an office, do you set up an office by a gutter?
By the lake. That's what they have said.
By the river, by the stream.
They know their job. They've put it here, so they are not doing the job.
So is it that it is not solvable or what?
No, but what I'm saying that look,
it is negligence of duty. Negligence of duty.
You can't go to the airport and go and sit in an overloaded plane because regulators are there.
Yeah.
Your bag, your luggage is checked.
Why? Is it weighed?
That's what is checked. It's weighed. That's what I mean. Because they don't want the plane to be overloaded. because there's no side road up there.
No mechanic there.
And so on the lake, do we have a side road on the lake? It's the same thing. So why is it that the airport is taken seriously and the inland transport system is not taken seriously? It's just I don't get it.